Hello everyone, you're welcome to today's class. So in this class, we want to continue from where we stopped, and we're still on arithmetic progression. We stopped at end time of an arithmetic progression. So today we want to look at some of terms of an AP, that is arithmetical progression. So we have the objectives. The two objectives that we have is just for us to find the formula for finding to show you the formula for finding some of terms of an AP, and then to solve problem. So examples, then we look at examples as well. So when we talk about some of terms of an AP, we've defined what AP is, what an arithmetic progression is. That is, it is a sequence that have constant difference between the terms inside. For example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So the difference between the first term and the second term, between the second term and the third term are constant, that they are the same. That's why we call it common difference. That is, the common difference between the difference between the terms must be what? Common. They must be the same. So the first thing you need to do when you are given a sequence, you must be able to identify if this sequence is an AP or is another thing. Exactly. So having known that, so you can see that the difference between the first term here is 1. The difference between the first, second, and third term is also 1. The difference between the third and the fourth term is also what? 1. This is what we call, all this 1, 1, 1 is always referred to as what? Common difference, which is represented as what? D. We've done that in a previous video. Now, today we want to look at when we have these terms like this. We have these terms like this. So the question asks us to find the sum of the terms in this AP. So what does that mean? It means that we should add the terms together. So we have, that means we are going to say 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, right? So if that is the case, 1 plus 2, that's 3, plus 3, that is what? 6, plus 4, that is what? 10. So which means the sum of terms of this AP is what? 10. But there are some AP that we extend to, let's say 1,000. We have to find the sum of terms of 1,000. The first 1,000 of an AP, what are you going to do? Are you going to list out all the terms up to 1,000? How many days will that take you? How many hours will that take you? How many minutes will that take you? So that is the essence of this topic. We want to look at, there is a particular formula that we just need to use, and you get your answer instantly, which we are going to look at in this. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to look at is, there are two formulas we can use. The first one is this. So sum of 10 formula. Now we want to look at formula, right? So we have two formulas. We're going to look at formula. Either you call it formula or you call it formula. So this is plural formula, right? So that means sum of n10 of an AP is n over 2, then open the bracket, 2a plus, open another bracket, n minus 1, bracket what? D. So this is the sum of an AP. When you are looking for an AP, you have to find the sum of an AP, find the first something, find the n time, the sum of n time of an AP. This is what we're going to look at. The n here, where n here, where n is what? Number of terms. Number of what? Number of terms in that AP. And A is the first term, it's no first term. First term, what terms again that we don't know? D is the common difference. Common difference. Right? So that is the first part of the formula. The second part is, you have to either use this or use this. I'll tell you when to use the second one. Or you have this. Some n is what? N over 2 into bracket a plus last term. So this is the second formula. So this formula, you're going to make use of this formula if you are given last term in the question. Last term in the question. Last term. So for example, the last term in the example I explained, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the last term here? The last term is 4. So for how to find it, we're going to look at the 2. No, we got 10. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 gives us what? 10, right? Now we're going to make use of the two formulas and see how we're going to apply them. Then we then look at other formulas, right? We look at other questions and see how we can apply them. So having known these two, so just make sure that you have this at the back of your mind. You have these two formulas at the back of your mind, right? So just know that this is last time. Here, where L, I can now say where L is what? Last term. So this is, you can use any of the two for any question, but if the question is specifically on last term, you make use of this formula. Is that clear? Alright, so if that is the case, let's look at it. Let's now test this formula now. Now, I want to find the sum of, so that means this one will be the sum of 10, then n is what? 10 divided by what? 2. Sorry. How many are the 1, 2, 3, 4? Sum of 4. Sum of 4, that will be 4 divided by 2, right? I'm applying this formula into bracket 2a. The first term is 1, multiply by 1, plus, open another bracket, and how many terms? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 minus 1. What's the common difference? 1. We close it, right? So this gives us 2. Then we have this. This is 2 plus 4 minus 1, 3. 3 times 1, 3. We close it. So that means we have 2 plus 3, 5. Then this is what? 2 times. That gives us 10. You can see that we still arrive at the same what? Answer, right? But you can see if the question now gives you the first, you are given the first and the last term. You're not given, you can see that in this formula, we don't have common difference there. Now, let's now see what we're going to get. Let me make use of this part here. So that means sum of 4 equals to n, that is 4, divided by 2 into bracket. The first term, which is what? 1, plus the last term. What's the last term here? 4. Are you with me? So 4 divided by 2, that is 2, into 1 plus 4, 5. So 2 times 5, that is 10. Because we still arrive at the same. So which means that you can apply this formula in any question. You can apply this one in any question. But if the question did not give you common difference, you only have first term and the last term, to make use of this formula to find the sum of an AP. So I've explained the two formulas that we have for calculating sum of an AP, sum of terms of an AP rather. So we're going to look at questions now, right? So all right, let's look at these two questions. Before we move on, let's start from simplest to complex. So find the sum of the first 50 odd numbers. Sum of the first 50 odd numbers. If we are to list out the odd numbers, it will take us some minutes to finish it, right? So let's now see if we can use the formula method. Let's look at this. So the first thing we're going to do, solutions to number 1 now. So the first odd number. So let's list the first two odd numbers. The first odd number is 1, followed by 3, 5, 7, and so on and so forth, right? So which means our first term here, A is what? 1. Then D is what? 3 minus 1, that's what? 2. That is 3 minus 1, that gives what? 2, right? So the sum of 10, we got n divided by 2 into bracket 2a plus n minus 1 bracket d, then we close it. So we make use of this formula because we don't know the last term. We can't use the second formula. So we make use of this one. So in this case, what is our n in this case? Our n is what? Because first 50, we are looking at 50 terms. 50, so n is 50 here. That will be 50 divided by 2 into brackets 2 multiplied by the first term, which is 1, plus into brackets n is 50 minus 1 bracket, what is the d? D is 2, then we close this. So this gives 25, right? This 2 plus 49 multiplied by what? By 2. Right? So you first multiply before you add. Don't forget God maths, right? So this is 25 into bracket 2 plus this plus 49 times 2. That is what? 98. Right? So 98 plus 2, that is 25 times what? 100. This plus this gives 100. So 100 times 25, that is 2,500. So the sum of the first 50 odd numbers, the sum of the first 50 odd numbers is what? 2,500. So you can confirm that by listing out the odd numbers. Just continue listing until you get to, you count 50. Then add them together and see if we're going to get the same answer or not. I hope this is very clear. That is the first example. Let's look at the second example now. Alright, second example is in two forms. So the first one, which is A here, how many terms of the AP, of this AP, must be added together to obtain the sum total of 164? Because this one is not straightforward question. You have to be very careful before you solve this. So you need to interpret. How many terms? What is that? What does that sound to you? So it means how many terms you find looking for n. That's what we're looking for here. How many terms? How many terms? We are looking for n. These are the AP. Must be added. That is when you add all the terms together. How many terms will be added together? That will then give us what? 164. So meaning that sum of n which we don't know, sum of n which we don't know, must be equals to 164. Sum of n that we don't know the n, must be equals to what? 164. Now, what is the formula for calculating sum of n terms? And that is what? N over 2 into bracket 2a plus n minus 1, close the bracket, then d must be equals to 164. So we now need to now tell what is n. We don't know n. It is n that we're looking for. In this AP, our first term here, where a is what? 3. The value of a here is 3, right? What will then be the value of d? D will then be equals to 8 minus 3. 8 minus 3 must also be equal to 13 minus 3. 13 minus what? Minus 8 rather. So what do we have? 8 minus 3 gives 5. 13 minus 8 gives us 5. That is the common difference at the same, that is 5. Exactly. So if we know the value of A, we know the value of D, it is n that we're looking for. So in that case, we can now apply, let's put in the values here. That will be n divided by 2 into bracket 2 multiplied by 3 plus, right? N, we don't know n minus 1. Then d, which is what? 5. We close it, equals to what? 164. So let's now take it one by one. So let's first of all deal with what we have inside the bracket before we come to this place. So that means we need to have n divided by 2 into brackets. This is 6 plus, let's use this 5 to open this one. That will be 5n, right? Minus 5. Then we'll close it. Again, 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times n plus 5n. 5 times minus 5 minus 5 equals 164. I believe I'm making sense. Move on to the next one. That's n divided by 2 into bracket 6 minus 5. That is 1. That is 1 plus 5n equals what? 164. So for us to cancel out fraction, we multiply both sides by what? 2. So when you multiply both sides by 2, this multiplied by 2, this multiplied by 2. So we then have n into bracket 1 plus 5n, right? Close the bracket, equals to what? This is 8, this is 12, and this is going to be 328. So the next step is to open this bracket as well. We open this will give us n plus 5n squared equals to what? 328. So we can rewrite this in this form: 5n squared plus n, then bring this to this side, minus 328 equal to 0. So this has led us to quadratic equation, which we can use three methods to solve. Either use factorization method, we have used completing the square method, or we make use of what? Formula method. We're going to test if factorization can go, or if formula method can go. Formula method can go in any question. Then factorization method, completing square method can also go, but factorization method can only go in some questions, not all. Is that clear? So let's now look at, let me finish first. Let's check, we will check if factorization method can go or not. So the first thing we're going to do when you are using factorization method is that you multiply this and this together, right? The product of this and this, that is 5n squared multiplied by 328. When you find the product, when you multiply the two together, you must be able to get two factors. Two factors. When you multiply them together, it will give you the product here. And it must not be 5 and this. And when you add or you subtract them, it will give you what you have at the middle here. Right? Now, this is the method that I will advise you to use. When you have a very large number here and this number here. So what we're going to do, let's express this one as products of its prime factors. That is 328, right? 2 can go 1, 6, 4. 2 can go, that's H2. 2 can still go, that is 4, 1. That is 41. So that means we have, we are supposed to multiply by 5. So that means we have 8, 2 times 2 times 2 times 41 gives us this one, times 5. So when you now say 5 times 8, that is 40, multiplied by 41. So this one will give us this product. That's what I just did now. And when you use 40 minus 41, will give us what? N. This is 1 here. So that is going to be 41 minus what? 40. So that it will be positive, 1n. So you now put n beside it. I believe I'm making this sense. I hope I'm not too fast. So we are now going to put n, because what we're going to have here, when you multiply this together, 328 times 5, this is 40, right? This is 14, this is 15, 40 carry 4, 10, 14 carry 1, this is 15, that is 16. We are going to have 1640 here when you multiply the two together. Now we are looking for two numbers. When we multiply them together, we are going to get this answer. And when we subtract or add them, we're going to get what? 1 plus 1 here. So let's multiply 40 and 41. So we have 0, we have 4, we have 0, we have what? 16, right? This is 0, 4, 6, 1. You can see we have 1600, 1640, which is still the same thing with this one, right? So in that case, we are going to make use of 40n and what? 41n to replace the middle nonsense. So it means that these 3 terms will now turn to 4 terms. So from there we can then factorize. So that means I can raise this side. So this means we're going to have this 5n squared. Instead of us writing 4n, we're going to write 41n minus 40n minus 328 equals what? 0. Now take note of this. You notice that when you multiply this by this, it's going to give us negative. This will give us minus 1640n squared. So that means this one also will also give us what? Negative. When we multiply 41n times minus what? 40n. It will give us negative because of this negative. Take note of that. Then when you subtract 41n minus 40n, you're going to get what? n, which is this one, what we have at the middle. Hope that is clear now. So in this case, we're going to have this. We factorize this. So how do we factorize this? So what is common to this now? 5 and 41. So it is n that is common. So that we're going to have 5n here plus 41, then minus excuse me. Minus what is common to this one? This is minus. N is not common. What is common is 8. 8 can go in 40, it can also go in this one. You open the brackets. So this will remain what? 5n, right? Minus times minus this one plus. So this will remain what? So divide this one by 8. 8 in 32, that is what? That is 4. 8 in 8, 1, that's 41, equal to what? 0. Exactly. You can see what we have in the two brackets are the same. So once they are the same, we factor that out. That's 5n plus 41. Then we combine this one, that will be n minus 8 equals to what? Sorry, there's no equals to here. Equal to what? 0. So we can then say that 5n plus 41 equals 0, or 8n minus 8 equals 0. So this one will give us 5n equals to minus 41. We want to find the value of n, or n equals to what? 0 plus what? 8. Now from the integration here, this would be what? 5, cancel, then n equals to what? Minus 41 over 5, or n equals to what? 8. What this means is that we cannot get negative terms, number of negative. It must be what? Positive. So which means the positive answer here is our answer. So that is the number of terms that must be added together to give us the sum of 164 is 8 terms. So the number of terms, is what? 8. Hope that is clear. That's how to solve that. Then we now need to look at the second question is, what is the last term? Please take note. What is the last term? You know, there are 8 terms. So what will not be the last term? Let's look at that one. That is B. Now we've known the number of terms. So we still make use of the second formula now. So the second formula is Sn is what? N over 2 into what? A plus n. So Sn we've known it, which is what? 164, right? 164. The number of terms that we just calculated is what? 8 divided by 2, right? Into what is the first term? The first term is what? 3, right? Plus last term is what we are looking for. So we can solve this one. This is 164 equals to 4 into what? 3 plus what? N. So we can divide both sides by 4 here. Divide both sides by what? 4. This is 4. 4 cancel this 4. 4 here 1, 4 here 4. That is 41. Then we have 41 equals to 3 plus what? N. So that is 41 minus 3 equals to what? L. So last time is what? 41 minus 3. 41 minus 3 is what? That is what? 38. So which means the last term is what? Is 38. I believe this is very clear to you. So we can confirm our answers. So how? Let's see if we can confirm our answer if we need to get the same thing. Look at this. The first term is 3. The second term is 8. This is 13. We'll be adding 5, right? And we discover that there are 8 terms. This will be 18. And this will be what? 23. This will be 28. And this is what? 33. And this will be what? 38. How many terms do you have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can see the last term is what? 8, which is confirmed. And when you have all these together, you are going to get to 164. And you can see that this is very interesting and straightforward, right? So this is the third example. So the first and last term of an AP are 21 and minus 47 respectively. So if the sum of the series, if the sum of the AP is given as this, calculate the number of terms in the AP, the B, the common difference. If we look at this question, you notice that we were given the first term and the last term. So which of the two formulas are we going to make use of? To make use of the second one to find the number of terms in the what? In the AP. So in this case, we're going to have this solution. We then the sum of n, we don't know the number of n here, is, we are given the sum of n to what? Minus 234, minus 234, right? Good. Then the formula we're using will be then n over 2 into bracket a plus what? N. A plus n, which must be equal to minus 234. So what are we going to do next? We don't know the value of n. We will be given a to be 21 and the l to what? Minus 47. Right. So let's now put the value into this one. So we are still in the first question. So that means we're going to have n over 2 into a, which is what? 21, plus the last n minus 47, close it, must be equal to minus 234. Right? So that means we're going to have this. So let's first of all deal with what we have inside the bracket first. So we have n over 2 into 21 plus, so plus times minus is what? Minus 47. Then equals what? Minus 234. Now to cancel out this negative, so before that, let's solve what we have here. So 47 minus 21, that is 26. So that means n over 2 into what? Minus 26, because minus 47 is greater than 20, so which means you're going to have negative here. So equals minus 234, right? So we multiply both sides by 2 to cancel out the fraction. So that is going to have n into minus 26 equals to 2 times 4, that is 8, 6, 4. So we have minus 26n equals to what? Minus 468. So we are looking for n. So we divide both sides by n by 20 minus 20. That's minus 26n divided by minus 26 equals to minus 468 divided by what? Minus 26. So this cancels this. Then n will be what? Divided by 26 will give you what? 18. So which means the number of terms in the AP is what? 26. So we just write the number of terms in the AP, write it. The number of terms in the AP is what? 18, right? So that is it. The next one is find the common difference. So we are asked, so the second part, which is D here, asks us to find the common difference. Now, take note of this. We are only given the first term, the last term, and we found the number of terms in the AP now. So which means we have A, which is 21. We have last term, which is what? Minus 47. And we have N, which is what? 18. We got 18, right? Right. So we got 18 here. If you look at this, so what are you going to use? Which one are you going to use to get the common difference? So the number of terms, the formula for calculating n term of an AP will also be used. So because the same thing as un, the same thing as last term, which is equal to what? A plus n minus 1 bracket what? G. That's what we're going to use to make use of this. So since we have been given the last term, which is minus 47, we know the value of A, which is this, and we know the value of N, which is this. Then we can now use that to find the value of what? Common difference, which is D. So we can therefore say that A, which is 21, plus N, which is 18, minus 1, bracket G, which we don't know, right? Equals the last term minus 47. That. So from here now, we can stop. This will be 21 plus, this is 17 multiplied by d, 17 d equals to minus what? 47. So we can collect like terms. That would be 17d equals to minus 47. Then this is what? Minus 21. That is 17d equals minus, that would be minus, that would be 68, minus 68. So we divide both sides by what? By 17. Now 17d divided by 17 equals to minus 68 divided by what? 17. So that is d, we then equals to 17, 68 divided by 17, 4. That's minus 4, which means the common difference is minus 4. Minus. Subsequently, we'll still look at more complex questions on this. So if you are new to this channel or you're watching from Facebook, kindly subscribe or follow us. So give us a thumb up and you can share the videos with your friends and family. So I wish you best of luck. Bye for now.